The need for families to take their pregnant women for antenatal visits and young children for immunization against killer diseases has again come to the fore, owing to high maternal and child mortality rates in the country. Health authorities say that when pregnant women attend antenatal classes regularly and bring their children for routine vaccination, their chances of survival improves.
This is the General Hospital at Malumfashi in Katsina State, northwest Nigeria, where a set of triplets has just been born. It should be a joyful occasion, but their mother did not survive the delivery. She might have come through, but made the mistake that a lot of able-bodied women make.
She came very late with the issue of no ANC attendance. Number two, she has multiple pregnancies and the uterus is already lax now. That is why if somebody has usually more than 4 pregnancies, so there is tendency of having postpartum hemorrhage, even if it is vaginal delivery.
Meanwhile, over in Gaidam local government area of Yobe State, northeast Nigeria, the Northeast Regional Initiative, NERI, is partnering the states to prevent such occurrences. The collaboration has resulted in the reconstruction and upgrade of this healthcare facility, which was destroyed during the Boko Haram reign of terror. The district head of Gaidam is glad for a place that will take care of pregnant women and their children.
If government brings something important for the community, it is for the community, not for the government.
After a successful birthing experience, it is important to protect the child against the common killer diseases to improve its chances of getting to adulthood.
You are not, some people will just pick the card, they are not even checking the name.
But health authorities in Plateau State are concerned that the routine immunization coverage has not been adequate.
When National Immunization Coverage Survey was conducted in 2016, it was found that most states as well as LGA did very dismal. For on the plateau, our coverage for routine immunization as at 2016 December was 102% for Pt.3. But the coverage survey shows that we are at 45%.
Prepare the immunization site. Next person.
The expanded program on immunization is sharing its new strategy to increase coverage in this training program designed for primary healthcare coordinators, local immunization officers, cold chain officers, and others.
Right now is the northern part of Nigeria that we are starting with, primarily because many of them are the ones that the RI coverage is low. So in case a child is defaulting, meaning that that child is missing immunization, the tracker in the community will be used to trace such a child to come for immunization.
This exercise is to be carried out in all the states of the Federation, but for children to have the best chance of benefiting, families should take antenatal visits seriously.
Still on health concerns, the problem of drug abuse is becoming more serious in the northern part of the country as organizations continue to seek ways to stop the trend. Abuse is attributed to a number of factors such as a breakdown in the family norms and values, divorce, forced marriages and unemployment. In Katsina State, where at least 40% of the Nigerian youth, mostly women, are engaged in substance abuse, a campaign has been launched to educate the people of the dangers.
Illicit drugs such as codeine, morphine, cannabis, cocaine, heroin, amphetamine, and a host of others pose serious health issues for users, with many cases leading to addiction, depression, mental illnesses, and even death. However, the number of Nigerian youths under the influence of these drugs continue to surge year in, year out in Nigeria, despite campaigns from health experts and other organizations against usage. One of such is the Police Officers' Wives Association, which launched a campaign against drug addiction and child molestation in Katsina State due to an increase of cases in the North region.
Report shows that
according to the chairperson of the association, the loss of family values, divorce, and early marriages are some of the principal reasons why youths engage in this act.
No to drug abuse, no to child molestation, and yes to youth empowerment. So on this day, to the glory of God, we are launching the campaign against drug abuse and child molestation in Katsina State.
All these are pointers to the fact that there is a need for increased awareness on the dangers of drug abuse.
NDLA Katsina State, just in this year alone, arrested 48 students. From 2005 to date, we arrested about 28 female users and conspirators in drug abuse. We also arrested 53 underage, that is from the age of 17 downwards, and also arrested 1,386 youth from the age of 18 to 35.
The association used the opportunity to push another message: maintenance of proper hygiene, supported with the donation of sanitary materials to the police barracks.
We are very delighted having you in Katsina today, as the programs we are launching today, campaign against drugs abuse and child molestation, as well as re-emphasizing the need for good hygiene and barrack sanitation for our general well-being.
Still, drug abuse remains a major cause for concern across the country as more underage youths are reported to be under the influence.
The Nigeria Postal Service will commence rural banking and insurance services by May 2018. The Minister of Communications, Mr. Adebayo Shitu, explains that NIPOS plans to deploy her facilities and centers across the Federation to reach the rural areas and drive the federal government's financial inclusion program. He was speaking on our program, Dateline Abuja.
We are trying to introduce NIPOS banking and insurance services such that there will be some form of rural banking in many of these NIPOS, centers across the country.
When would that be?
Well, we are now at the stage of discussions with the Bureau of Public Enterprises. And the timeline for that is May of next year, for the commencement of such services. So apart from the NIPOS banking services, which we intend to start, we are also looking at starting within NIPOS a property and development company. This is justified by the fact that in many locations of NIPOS across this country, there are excess lands unused, unbuilt, wasting away. We think that these lands, we should take an inventory of them, assess them, lease them, advertise them for lease by property developers who would use these lands to build office complexes, malls, eateries.
You're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television live from Lagos. Let's quickly shift gears now, shall we, to business news with Melinda Akinlami.
Many thanks, Gimba. Welcome to Business News. Financial analysts have started making projections for Nigeria's headline inflation rate ahead of the release of the data by the National Bureau of Statistics. Analysts at FSDH Research see a marginal loss to 15.91% in October from 15.98% in September. The expected marginal loss is attributed to a lower increase in the food and non-food divisions compared with the previous month. It's a positive close for the first trading week of November as the main indicators end with a significant 1.31% increase at the local equities market. This was attributed to the moderate performance of stocks in 4 sessions this week, especially the 0.54 and 0.56% rise recorded on Tuesday and Wednesday. Investors traded over 1.36 billion shares for 17.7 billion naira in a total of 21.891 transactions. The financial services sector is the main contributor to the overall volume and value on the activity chart, while FBN Holdings, Diamond Bank and UBA are the most traded stocks for the week. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation and the Nigerian Agip Oil Company are set to boost the country's power generation by 480 megawatts. This will be done through the completion of the Okpai Phase 2 Independent Power Project by 2019. The NNPC Group Managing Director, Dr. Pt.3, has set up a 12-man committee to make the project a reality. He wants them to explore the possibility of delivering it ahead of the 2019 target date, as the project is crucial to the nation's power aspirations. Data from the National Bureau of Statistics shows that 7.7 million workers are registered under the Pension Asset and Retirement Savings Scheme, compared to 7.5 million registered workers in the second quarter of 2017. The NBS pension assets and the RSA membership data for the first to third quarter of 2017 also put the pension fund asset under management as at the third quarter at 7.16 million naira as against 6.83 million naira in the second quarter. According to the Statistics Office, federal government bonds have the highest weight of 54.09% to the total pension fund asset and is closely followed by Treasury bills with 17.73%. The International Monetary Fund, IMF, expects Cameroon's economic growth rate to slip to 3.7% this year. That's from an earlier forecast of around 4%. The IMF also projects the country's inflation to remain low at 0.5% after economic growth came in at 4.5% last year. However, the Bretton Woods institution has reached an agreement with the Cameroonian government on economic and financial policy ahead of the first review of the program, which is expected by mid-December. A 3-year extended credit facility was approved by the IMF in June for the country, which has been hit hard by the global decline in crude oil prices. And that's business news. It's back to you, Gimba.
The need to promote peaceful coexistence among Nigerians has once again been emphasized as the 2017 edition of the National Festival of Arts and Culture kicks off in Kaduna State. The participants, who came from different parts of the country for the event, believe that Nigeria will be more prosperous as a united entity.
The Murtala Mohammed Square in Kaduna, northwest Nigeria, is the venue for this year's National Festival of Arts and Culture, popularly known as NAFEST. Participants are drawn from different states of the Federation to showcase the best in their culture. Activities at this year's festival include colorful marches, dancing and a mini Durbar. The Director General of the Council for Arts and Culture, Olusegun Rushewe, says the festival will help rejuvenate the dwindling fortunes of Nigerian culture and help promote peace and unity.
The easiest way to solve Nigerian issue is for us to adopt what I call cultural diplomacy. And cultural diplomacy will make all the difference. And the good story I have for Nigerian people today, through Kaduna, the end of 8 speeches has come to an end today. The unity of Nigeria remains irrevocable.
This is re-echoed by the government of the host state.
It's a platform to highlight the unique features of a united Nigeria to the rest of the world. The festival therefore serves as an avenue for the rest of the world to appreciate the beauty, distinct and diverse cultural heritage of Nigeria.
Some participants shared their thoughts on how the country can leverage in the promotion of the nation's diverse cultures.
When we all come together to display our cultural diversity as one, as a Nigerian, I think it will foster unity, because you see what the other culture has, and our culture, especially in Nigeria, is of peace.
It is the duty of the cultural centers in Nigeria to see to the oneness of all Nigerians, despite your tribe, despite your geographical locations.
Highlight of the event was the opening of the calabash, which organizers say is a symbol of peace and unity.
With this single act, I wish to declare this festival open to the glory of God and the development of tourism in Nigeria. Thank you.
This is one of the many festivals that showcases Nigeria's rich cultural heritage. Organizers believe that the very nature of Nigeria's diversity of cultures can be used as an instrument to foster national unity.
Still ahead on the news at 10, WBC heavyweight champion Deontay Wilder vows to knock out Bremen Steven in their fight in New York. Stay with us.